Welcome back. Time for drawing tutorial number 3, annotating a drawing. Now I found a bug in this tutorial, but I found a workaround as well. The problem is with drawings, the way that works is there's at least two files. There's the design file and then there's the drawing file. And when you make changes in the design file, those are updated in the drawing file, which is great. It's a wonderful functionality, but for some reason the tutorial appears to be broken, or maybe I'm doing it wrong, but that association is not working. So I found a workaround for it, and I'm going to do that for you. All right, so the first thing you need to do is, in the tutorial there's this option to download existing zip file, so that will download an archive, and then we can re-import the archive into a new project, and the associations between the design and the drawing will work. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click this thing and click Save Link As. I'm going to put it on my desktop. Now it's going to download a zip file. All right, so we'll click Save. It's downloading a zip. That was pretty quick. Now what's going on here? So this is a zip file on my desktop, but Fusion doesn't directly understand the zip. So you have to right click it and click Extract All if you're on Windows 10. And it'll extract what's in the zip folder to another folder. So we hit Extract, and what it did is it made a regular folder. Okay, and inside that folder is this F3Z file. Okay, the F3Z file is a Fusion 360 archive. Okay, they call that an archive. Now there can be multiple files inside this archive. Okay, so that's what's going on so far anyway. So just once again, there's a zip file. You have to extract that into a folder, and inside that folder will be this F3Z zip file. All right, now we can go to Fusion, which, I don't have it running. I'll start that. Maybe I'll pause the video here while this thing boots up. Okay, I got Fusion up now. Now what we need to do is, close this job status thing. I don't know why that's up there. I'll go to the data panel. We need to make a new project. So I'm going to call this, what is this thing? I'm going to call it some kind of connector, right? Connector tutorial. I want to be more specific. I'm going to call it connector drawing tutorial. Yeah, I get some error. I've been playing around with this thing. Anyway, so it makes this project. Okay, there's a little blue line around the project, which means that it's active or selected or something like that. But I'm going to double click it. Okay, so I have this connector drawing tutorial sort of open. It's a project, connector drawing tutorial project, open in the data panel. Okay, now what I can do is I can go to File, Open. Okay, and this will let us open this archive that we've already downloaded. Okay, so we go Open. Then you got to click Open from my computer. There's the F3Z. Right, it's on my desktop. Now you want the F3Z, which is an archive. So click Open. This dialog comes up. Click Upload. You get this status thing. And then you can see over here in the connector drawing tutorial project that I made, you can see these two local uploads in progress. So what did we do? We downloaded an archive from some website somewhere onto my local computer. Then we're opening up that archive file from my local computer, and it's re-uploading them because Fusion 360 is cloud-based. it's re-uploading a copy. Kind of a roundabout way to do this thing, but there might be an easier way, but I haven't found it. Okay, first one's done, connector joint's done. So by the way, that was connector joint F3D, which is the file extension for the 3D design. And right now it's uploading from our local computer back up to the cloud. It's uploading F2D, which is the file extension for the drawing file. Okay, so there was there was the F3Z archive, and which we downloaded, and then inside of it were 2 files that we're re-uploading. And the reason for all of this runaround thing is because there's an association between this connector joint and the connector joint drawing that I couldn't get to work unless I did it this way. But it's a good practice with learning about archives and file formats for Fusion 360. Anyway, we'll close that. All right, great. Now I can double click connector joint. Okay, so there's my copy of connector joint. It's not read only. I can make changes. I can save those changes. Everything works. And then I can double click connector joint drawing. And there's the drawing. Okay, so I got my design file here in this tab, and I got my drawing in this tab. All right, now we're back to where the tutorial wants us to continue. So we're just going to add some dimensions and other things, and I'll just go through those. I'll move these instructions off to the side. Okay, these dimensions, if you just click this dimension button, you can get all the dimensions to work if you're careful. There's one. Then I can click here and here and here. I can click here, and just all in the same command. Not working. The circle wouldn't work, so I'll start over. We got the wrong kind of snap or something. There, now it's working. Gotta hold the cursor on just the right spot. Okay, we got all those dimensions. Now we want to add a center line. So they call it a center mark. Okay, center mark. There's this circle right here. Click that, and that's a set of what I've been calling center lines. I call it a center mark. Let's see. So then there's this thing, these symbols that we didn't spend a bunch of time on, but this is a surface texture. This is a datum identifier. This is a feature control frame. These are ways of just specifying a little bit more information that we didn't really get into, but if you ever, you could study on your own if it turns out that you need this stuff. But we'll click this feature control frame. So this is a way of adding a little bit more information to a dimension. So you select this dimension and then where you want the datum, and then enter. This dialog comes up, and they want you to do a parallel and add a first tolerance 0.1. Then you get the option to do a first datum. Type in an A. Click OK. So generally speaking, this adds a little more tolerance information to the design. In this case, I'm not sure that this information actually makes sense. We're trying to say that something relative to this A mark right here needs to be parallel with an accuracy or tolerance of 0.1. But I don't really think that makes sense. Like, they could be saying that these two outside edges of the part need to be parallel. You know, it doesn't really make sense. But generally speaking, you can specify that kind of information using these symbols. And like I say, I don't think this particular set of information makes sense, but if you ever run across this kind of stuff, you could study it on your own and figure it out. Anyway, Fusion 360 supports this feature control frame functionality. Let's see, the next thing we want to do is add a parts list. So we go table and click that. Now, it's not letting me select which view I want. I don't know why, because it did that on the previous tutorial that had a table, but it's not. It's just letting me throw down the table, and it comes up by default on this top view with the little balloons. But we can add more balloons. So you can click the balloon button and click that edge and place a balloon there, and click this arc and place a balloon there, and enter to complete or escape to complete that. And then you can go back to these other balloons and delete them if you want. So there's that. So now the whole point of this associativity between the design and the drawing is that we can change things in the design and they'll be reflected in the drawing. So let's take this little tab right here, which is 0.8 long. We'll go to the design, and I'm just going to click this surface and then right click, press pull, type in a 1 and click OK. So the tab got crazy long, and there's an asterisk up here on the tab indicating that we need to do a save. So I'll save it. You have to save it, otherwise the changes won't be reflected in the drawing. So now you can go to the drawing tab and you get this little yellow warning symbol, okay, which says the drawing is out of date. So you just click it, okay, and then the tab got bigger and the dimension changed to reflect the change. Okay, so that's associativity between a design file and a drawing file. But I could not get it to work unless I went through those steps at the very beginning, where I downloaded an archive and then re-uploaded that archive into a new project, and then the associativity works. Okay, hope that was useful for you. See you next time.